Welcome to Detroit. Doesn't matter if you have one ass cheek and three toes. I will beat your ass. You can drown them. And that's what we gotta be. That's who we have to be. Because that's our domain. That is our domain. Because we'll tread water as long as it takes to fucking bury you.
Takes the snap, turns, gives to Montgomery, right side, end zone, touchdown, Detroit Lions! Yes.
We are driven by Detroit.
Hello, Detroit Lions friends, fans, and family members. Welcome on back to yet another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. I'm your host, David T. Pike. And as always, we're diving on in. So folks, for today's episode, or at least the episode that I'm releasing right now today, we're not going to be talking about necessarily what's been going on the last couple of days within the team itself. We're not going to be talking about, this particular player said this particular player did that. No. What we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about how the Lions got some absolutely amazing news. And it came from the one place that I never, ever expected that we were going to get it from. What I'm referring to is, when you're talking about the offseason, there's a couple of things that most people will pay attention to, and they'll pay attention to it because they want to see, okay, what's going to happen? They kind of wait with, bated breath. They're kind of waiting with anticipation because certain things are going to be considered big pieces of news for certain franchises. Obviously, the biggest pieces of news will be, okay, well, who's my franchise signed? Or who's my franchise traded for? We don't have to worry about that with this particular comment or with this particular episode. Rather, the content for today's episode is going to be based upon who somebody else signed. And the somebody that they signed is somebody that we Lions fans and the Lions team has quite a lot of experience playing against. And the best part about it all is that we get to play them this year. Who and what am I talking about? What I am talking about is the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday made the announcement that they have finally agreed to terms with quarterback Aaron Rodgers, who is going to suit up for yet another season and play NFL football for the said Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, some people are like, well, David, why exactly is that great news? Why is that awesome news? It's awesome news because it gives the Lions one more last opportunity to play against Aaron Rodgers. Now, some people might be like, well, David, why would that be something that would make you happy? Why is that something that would give you joy? Let me just put this out there, folks, so that way you understand it. I detest Aaron Rodgers with such a fervent passion that any chance that the Lions get to play him, to make him look bad, to get a little bit more of revenge on his sorry you-know-what, I absolutely enjoy it. It was one thing when we had to play him in Green Bay, and we didn't have a chance to really beat him for a number of years. That was something that I absolutely detested, but the detest wasn't from a place of excitement because I was looking forward to sticking it to Aaron Rodgers. The detest was from a place of, my God, I hate playing this guy because this guy always seems to have our damn number. But let's understand something here. Ever since late 2021, the Lions have had Rodgers' number. Think about this, folks. The Lions have played Aaron Rodgers when he was with the Packers since Dan Campbell had gotten here to the moment that he left in 2020, I believe it was 22. We played Aaron Rodgers and the Packers 4 times. Of those 4 times, we beat the Packers and Rodgers 3 of them. We beat them in the last game of 2021. We beat them in our first matchup of 2022, and we beat them once again in the last matchup of 2022. We're 3-4 against Rodgers the last couple of times that we've played him in the regular season. 2023, we never played him because, oh, that's right, he busted his Achilles and he was out for the whole year. In 2024, we never played him because, well, the Jets were never on our schedule, and the Jets were never going to go anywhere with Aaron Rodgers. And so for me, it was like, man, I wish one more time we had the chance to play that guy. I wish one more time we had the opportunity to really stick it to him. And thank God my prayer came true. Thank God the wish came true, because now with us playing the Pittsburgh Steelers this year and Aaron Rodgers officially signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers, we have the chance, potentially, and I do say that, potentially, to get one last measure of revenge against this guy. This guy that for years absolutely made Lions fans and the Lions organization's life a living hell. It's like, dude, there's no way that it was just going to end with that last pass in Green Bay where Kirby Joseph intercepted him. It seemed like for a little bit that might be what was going to happen, but finally, thank the good Lord above, we are going to get one last opportunity to play against this guy. And I'm telling you this right now, it excites the hell out of me. But it shouldn't just excite me. It first and foremost should excite all of you. Because I can guarantee you this. Lions, I'm telling you, all the Detroit Lions, they're excited for this news because it's like, hey, we get a chance to play against an old rival one last time. We get to play against a guy that has absolutely just been the bane of our existence for the longest time ever. And I'm going to tell you exactly which Lions are the most excited to play against this dude. The first guy, with absolutely no question in my mind, is excited to play against Aaron Rodgers again, is Kirby Joseph. I don't know what it is, and I don't care what it is, but every time Kirby Joseph and Aaron Rodgers play, Kirby Joseph always seems to pick his ass off. It just happens with just absolute clarity every single time. I mean, that's just what Kirby Joseph does. Like, Kirby Joseph has Aaron Rodgers' number. And let's understand something here. For as much as I detest Aaron Rodgers, the one thing about Rodgers I can say unequivocally is that this is a guy that prides himself on not turning the ball over. This is a guy that has been known throughout his career for very, very seldomly, if ever, throwing picks. And the fact that, Kirby Joseph just always seems to be in the right place at the right time to pick his ass off and to make him look like, man, what the hell was I thinking? Or, man, I absolutely hate this. That just sour dog look that he has when he throws a pick, it is more, how do I put this? It is more valuable, it is more joyous than words can describe for a Lions fan to see him just walk off to the sideline all pissy and moany because he threw an interception. But the fact that it's Kirby Joseph that's the one that's doing it, oh, it is just a delicious thing to watch. Because, again, the one thing that made Kirby Joseph such a hero for the Lions was the fact that Kirby Joseph was the guy that ended Aaron Rodgers' career in Green Bay. Some people are going to say, oh, well, Aaron Rodgers was going to quit anyway. Aaron Rodgers was done. Okay, yeah, whatever. I don't give a thunder. What truly was the death nail, what was truly the last little piece of him being a Packer was that last throw he had at Lambeau in 2022, and it was Kirby Joseph who picked him off. That ended everything for Aaron Rodgers with the Packers. That was the last throw Aaron Rodgers ever threw at, Lambeau Field as a Green Bay Packer. It will still be thus the same. Aaron Rodgers is not going to go back to the Packers and sign with them to play again. If anything, the only thing he might ever do is sign a one-day contract with them to retire as a Packer. That's about the only thing I could ever see him doing. And given the fact that Aaron Rodgers is an arrogant son of a what? Son of a, gun, I don't see that happening. The point of the matter is that for Kirby Joseph, I guarantee you this. He's like, oh boy, I can already see myself getting another interception or two because anytime Kirby Joseph plays Aaron Rodgers, that's exactly what happens. That's player number one, who should be absolutely excited as hell to play Aaron Rodgers. Player number two, who absolutely should be excited to play Aaron Rodgers, is Aiden Hutchinson. let's understand something here. If there's one other player other than Kirby Joseph that always seems to get under Rodgers' skin as far as making him make mistakes, it's Aiden Hutchinson. And it's not just sacks, it's also interceptions. Again, you go back to 2022, Aiden Hutchinson was one of those guys, if I recall correctly, in the first game that we played the Packers that year, which was coincidentally the game that we won that started our run going into the second half of the season. Aiden Hutchinson had himself a day against Aaron Rodgers between both sacking him and also intercepting him. And let's understand something here. Aiden Hutchinson is coming back on his comeback tour. This is his comeback year. And I can guarantee you this, the idea, the ability to get one last shot to go up against a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who, like I said, all Lions players and fans absolutely detest. They might respect him because of the talent and the type of player he's been over the years, but absolutely detest him to get one last opportunity to go up against a guy that, for all intents and purposes, no matter how much I dislike him, he's going to go into the Hall of Fame, to get one last opportunity to say, hey, I was able to sack that guy, or hey, I was able to get an interception against that guy. That right there is just something that I know for Lions fans, Aiden Hutchinson, Kirby Joseph, the guys I've already mentioned, they're licking their chops. They're just like, oh, yes, please stay healthy long enough to where I can play against you and the Steelers, and I can just have my day against you, because that's exactly what the Lions fans are looking for. That's exactly what the Lions players are looking for. Again, as we've heard in the past, as we've seen in the past, the Lions players, the Lions fans, they do not need much to get motivated. They do not need much at all to get hyped up to say, oh yes, let's go out and let's play against this dude. Let's go play against this team, and let's just put an absolute mud stomping, a whooping on their ass, because they absolutely deserve it. And then I'm going to tell you this. The last player I think that should be really, really excited to play against Aaron Rodgers is quarterback Jared Goff. Because let's understand something here. For the longest time, when Aaron Rodgers was still in the NFC North division, the quarterback hierarchy of that division was always Aaron Rodgers was number one, because nobody wanted to say anything different, because again, he is a Hall of Fame player. This is a guy that will go into the Hall at one point. That was just the way it was. And it didn't seem to matter what Goff did. It didn't seem to matter how well Goff played. Goff was never, ever going to hold that number one spot in the NFC North. Well, now that Rodgers has been gone, Goff has unequivocally, indisputably freaking claimed the right of being the best quarterback in that division. There's no question about that. Jordan Love can't come close to that. Freaking Caleb Williams sure as hell isn't even in the same stratosphere, let alone same universe. And J.J. McCarthy is going to hopefully be able to stay healthy enough to make his first NFL start this year. So it's like, okay, yeah, Jared Goff is the best quarterback in the NFC North. He also can make the claim potentially to be one of the best, if not the best quarterback in the NFC, just based off of how he's played the last couple of years. Again, I've talked about it before. This is a guy that from 2022 has been a top 5 quarterback. You take a look at virtually every single statistic that he has posted in that time frame, it's all within the top 5. I think there's one ranking where it's outside of top 5. And then, if not to make that argument, the argument of how well Goff played last year makes it even better. The guy was literally number 2 in a literal plethora of rankings. And again, most of his rankings were in the top 5 or top 3. So from the last couple of years, from 2022 on, where Goff was a top 5 quarterback. Last year, Goff was a top 3 quarterback. Again, Goff is the exact antithesis of the type of person that Aaron Rodgers is. Aaron Rodgers is cocky, he's smug, he's arrogant, and he's all about himself. The show has to be all about him. Hey, you know what? Everybody has to look at me while I make my decision if I'm going to play or not. Everybody has to wonder, who's this guy going to play for? What's this guy going to do if he decides to play one more season? What team is he going to do? Or what team is he going to play for? Because that's been the story with Aaron Rodgers the last couple of years, at least ever since 2022. There was intrigue on whether or not he was going to come back in 2022 to play with the Packers. Then there was intrigue of, okay, the Packers are now trying to facilitate a trade for Rodgers. What team is he going to get traded to? Then there was the whole concept of, okay, is Rodgers going to play for the Jets once he comes back from his injury? Now it was, is he going to come back and play for one more year? And what team's going to pick him up? Is it going to be the Steelers? Is it going to be the Saints? Is it going to be some quarterback-needy team that thinks if they bring in Rodgers, now all of a sudden they've got a shot for the Super Bowl? And that seems to be the pattern. That seems to be the MO with Rodgers over the last couple of years. Whereas with Goff, there is no drama. There is no intrigue. There is no, we don't know exactly what this guy's going to do. He keeps holding everybody on a freaking, little rope. Again, kind of like the song by Frank Sinatra, I Got the World on a String. That's the kind of person Rodgers is. He loves being in the limelight. He loves being the center of attention. He loves getting all of the attention. Goff is more of, hey, you know what? If I get attention, whatever. But I am perfectly fine not being in the limelight. I am perfectly fine just sitting back and doing my job. There's no such bone in Rodgers' body. He's got to be the prima donna that gets all of the attention. And that's part of the reason why Lions players and Lions fans absolutely detest him. Because he's all about himself. And don't get me wrong, the guy has talent, and he's shown that he has talent, and he's shown to a certain extent that, yeah, you know what, he should have some attention to himself. But this is a guy that absolutely just basks in it. And if he doesn't have the attention that he's looking for, he will find ways to create it. Whether it's going on the Pat McAfee show, whether it's making some dumbass comment about some player or team he's played with in the past. That's what Rodgers does. And that's what makes this opportunity to play him one last time such an awesome one. Because it's like, we get one more opportunity to kick his ass up and down a field and just absolutely enjoy ourselves doing it. Because I'm telling you this right now, the Lions already had a very good advantage of playing against the Steelers when we play against them. Because, well, let's call it what it is. Yes, are the Steelers a good team? They are a good team. They're always going to be a good team as long as Mike Tomlin is the coach and as long as they have the same mindset they've had for decades. But everybody kept wondering whether or not the Steelers were going to make a decision at quarterback, because it was like, okay, up until they signed Rodgers yesterday, it was like, your starting quarterback is either looking like Mason Rudolph or Will Howard. Not exactly enticing options. And that kind of took the excitement, if you will, away from it. It took kind of the challenge away from it. Now you bring in a guy like Aaron Rodgers, and it's a guy that, one, we've had a lot of experience playing against. Two, we don't need a whole lot to be ready to play for this guy because, as I said, playing against him is a reward in of itself because it's like, oh, please, we would just love one more chance to just absolutely whoop him. But doing so against the Steelers, a team that every single year, it doesn't matter how bad of an offense they have, what quarterback they have, whatever the case might be, they're always competitive. Again, some people are going to be like, well, David, you just made the argument as to why having Rodgers there is going to make this more difficult. And that's something we don't want. It's like, maybe you don't want it, but I sure as hell do, because I want the challenge. I want to be able to say, yes, we played against the best of the best. We played them. We beat them. We're battle ready. We are scarred and ready to go into the postseason and kick anybody's ass doing so. And it's like, listen, take a look at all the AFC teams now that we're playing against that have some of the best quarterbacks that are playing right now. The Bengals got Joe Burrow. The Ravens got Lamar Jackson. The Chiefs got freaking Patrick Mahomes. And now the Steelers, they have, Aaron Rodgers. That right there is like, hey, it doesn't matter if it's the NFC or the AFC now. We're playing against some of the best teams, and we're going to show that we have earned the respect, we have earned the recognition from the NFL to be a team that, hey, you know what? If you play us, whether it's the regular season or the postseason, you're in for a fight. You're going to get the best that we have to offer, and we're going to be battle tested. We are going to be ready to absolutely open a can of whoop ass on you, and it don't matter who you are. That's why, for me, this is such awesome, exciting news, because one, it gives us the opportunity to kick his ass one more time, but also two, it once again adds more to the argument that, hey, if the Lions can run through the gauntlet of teams that we have, which I fully expect that we will, and we can prove that we can not only beat them, but be ready for the playoffs. It's like, dude, who in the hell is going to be able to play against us in the playoffs? Because it's like, we'll have played against all the good teams in the NFL. We'll have beaten virtually all of the good teams in the NFL. There's nobody in the NFL come postseason time that's going to be able to say, oh man, yeah, we're going to give them something different. They're not ready for us. It'll be like, name one team that's going to be able to do that. All the AFC contenders we're practically playing against. All the NFC contenders we're practically playing against. So it's like, hey, we go through all of them. We beat most, if not all of them. It's like, yeah, send us who you want in that postseason. We'll beat them just like we did in the regular season. Doesn't matter. And if we don't beat them in the regular season, we're like, okay, fine. We learned from what we learned in the regular season. Now we're going to take those lessons and we're going to apply them in the postseason. And then we'll beat you there. That's the way I look at this. It's an all-encompassing argument for me. And for me, I am excited as hell to play that man one more time. It didn't matter if the guy was wearing the freaking, Packers uniform. Didn't matter if he was playing with the Jets. It doesn't matter now that he's playing with the Steelers. I look forward to the opportunity to make him sulk, cry, and whine like a baby when our defense and our offense absolutely makes him feel like powerless, helpless to be able to figure out a way to beat us. And that's exactly what I think is going to happen when we play him this year with the Steelers. And I'm looking forward to it. But anyway, folks, I've said my piece. Hopefully you guys are as excited to play against Aaron Rodgers again as I am. And with that, I'm going to end this episode and say thank you all for watching yet another episode of MCM Motor City Mania. If you like what you saw, by all means, I highly encourage y'all to watch the next episode. Also encourage y'all to do one of these three things: like, comment, and subscribe. If by chance you subscribed in the past and you forgot to do so at the time, I want to highly encourage y'all, please, make sure you hit that bell notification icon. I also want to encourage y'all, please, make sure you share this content so that way you never have a chance, so that way people can always watch it, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on Facebook. Again, we want to get it out there so that way people can keep enjoying the content. That way we can continue to grow the channel. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers, folks. Let's get it done. And with that, I sure as hell hope you enjoyed the content. I hope that this was something that brought a smile to your face. Definitely get you pumped up to play against the Steelers and Rodgers one more time. That's what I try to do with every piece of content. I try to give you guys good, entertaining content, but also at the same time, in cases like this, just something that really brings a smile to your face. I also hope everyone has something in their life that makes them happy, makes them smile. God bless, my friends. And until the next time we meet, I'll see you all in the next episode.